it with hot water before cooking.
Pagpag! Masarap to! Ah.
More than 1 billion tons of unspoiled food are thrown away and wasted every year. This amount of food waste is alarming worldwide. However, in Manila, the capital of the Philippines, some neighborhoods collect food from garbage dumps and eat it. Thousands of tons of food are collected, recooked, and become the basic sustenance for thousands of people. You may never have heard of this before. I'm talking about Pag-Pag. So, what exactly is Pag-Pag? It is actually the traditional dish of the Tondo neighborhood. Tondo is the largest shanty town in Manila, the capital city of the Philippines. Everyone in Tondo loves this dish and is addicted to Pag-Pag. I'm sure, though, that none of you have tried it. The reason is quite clear. Pag-Pag is made from trash. Yes, that's right, and no one can deny it. Restaurant workers collect leftover fried chicken from fast food chains, hamburger scraps, and other food items, place them in bags, and throw the bags into the nearest trash containers. Then, at night, garbage collectors come and collect the bags. People in need from the Tondo neighborhood then go to these sites and sort through the bags until dawn. The lucky ones find larger pieces of chicken. Once collected, the food scraps are rinsed in clean water. Then, soy sauce, oil, and Sprite are added, and the food is cooked again. It's hard to believe, but Pag-Pag is the most popular and widely consumed dish in these slum neighborhoods of Manila. According to them, it's cheap and delicious. To better illustrate the story, we first visited one of the most famous fast food chains in the Philippines. It's the favorite restaurant for those who can afford fried chicken and hamburgers in the capital city of Manila. We observed how much of their meals customers actually finished.
Right now, I'm in front of Jollibee. This place is always crowded and a lot of food gets thrown away.
Many orders were brought to the tables, but most customers didn't finish their meals. We then examined the leftover food on the tables. The food scraps destined for the trash contained a significant amount of edible chicken and pasta. Pag-Pag lovers most look forward to eating these bone-in and boneless chicken pieces.
As you can see, half of the food hasn't been eaten and has been left behind. This could be a Pag-Pag meal for someone poor.
Some customers leave without finishing half of their meals. Restaurant staff then collect the food from the tables. It is thrown into trash bins inside the restaurant. After leaving the restaurant, we went to the nearest trash containers. It is now approaching midnight. Soon, most of the businesses and shops around the fast food restaurant will close for the night. We, on the other hand, moved to a quiet corner of one of the city's busiest main streets and waited for the garbage trucks. As the night progressed, the trucks arrived to collect the trash from the street. The bags of trash contain kilograms of food scraps that will soon be taken to a disposal site. To us, these food scraps mean nothing more than trash, but they will help some people survive. While we watched the garbage trucks work, we noticed homeless people lying around half naked. Clearly, people in this city have a hard time finding both food and shelter. However, our task in this video is to follow the garbage trucks and talk to people sorting through trash at the dumping site. We want to hear the stories of the people who eat Pag-Pag and get to know them better.
I'm now heading to a garbage collection site in Manila, and I'm going to show you some people who sort through the trash and collect usable food for Pag-Pag. It won't be easy, but I need to be careful.
We soon arrived at a place in the Tondo neighborhood where trash was being dumped. It actually looks calm. However, those around us warned us to be careful. As night falls in this neighborhood, life becomes dangerous. We saw people sorting through trash dumped from trucks. You should not approach these people immediately. The homeless people wandering around the edges of the garbage dumps are shabu addicts. In other words, they consume a type of crystal drug and are addicted to it. It is made by mixing methamphetamine and caffeine. There are thousands of shabu addicts in Manila. For this reason, you are likely to see people talking incoherently around you. These drugs make people sleepless and aggressive. Shabu addicts use the same syringes they inject themselves with to harm others. In other words, there is a high probability that they will threaten and rob you. Therefore, we must choose whom we talk to carefully and be cautious about the questions we ask. Situations can get out of control in an instant, and we may have to stop filming. While we are here, we need to keep our eyes open and be more careful than usual. This area where trash is sorted is not only frequented by people looking for food, rats and dogs are also searching for food there. These piles of trash seem to be frequented by many creatures every night. We met two Filipino men here. They said the trash bags contain food scraps and plastic materials and that they have to sort through the bags carefully. Some people come here not only for food scraps, but also to collect plastic and metal materials. They use sharp tools to remove these materials from the items and collect them, just like this man is doing. They generally separate the food and other materials from the bags and put them in separate bags. The food scraps will later be turned into Pag-Pag. Another man we filmed searched for chicken scraps with his bare hands, carefully and quietly. He collects food that someone else has eaten and prepares it to eat again. He must be very hungry because he finds pieces of chicken that have hardly been touched in one of the food containers. He takes a pen and uses it as a fork. Then, without wasting any time, he eats the chicken pieces right there. He is very pleased and tries to finish all the chicken. Another person sees him eating and takes a piece of chicken from his box and puts it in his own mouth.
Tayo, okay lang sa akin kainin yun. Yung tira-tira sa Jollibee, yung mga pagpag. May iba malinis. Pwedeng kainin, kinakain namin. Nangangalakal. Marami na kalakal. Bebenta kami, mga 500, 300, ganun. Gabi lang yun. Sa umaga may trabaho naman eh. Extra income ba? Kahit mangalipid pa ako ng basura dyan, importante hindi ako nakaka-perwisyo. May alam naman akong trabaho, kaya nagdanakaw ako.
They have to be careful about the food scraps they find sometimes. This is because people may throw spoiled food in the trash. For example, they don't collect packaged food with air bubbles in the packaging. They give the spoiled food to families in their neighborhood who raise pigs. Sometimes they find gold jewelry or money in the trash. That's when they feel like the happiest people in the world. They are happy because they have the chance to provide a better life for their families, if only temporarily. One of them says he once found 10,000 Philippine pesos, equivalent to $200. At the end of the night, those in need load the food scraps they collected from the trash onto their bicycles. Then they set off for their shantytowns in the Tondo neighborhood. At dawn, a big Pag-Pag feast will be held in the neighborhood, and everyone will eagerly eat the leftover food.
This neighborhood, Pag-Pag meals are sold every day, and people are very interested in eating them. This is one of the poorest neighborhoods in Manila. I will also be interviewing individuals who consume Pag-Pag and will meticulously show you exactly how they navigate through this entire process.
The next morning, we visited a shanty town in Tondo where economic conditions are poor and people often eat Pag-Pag. Today, they will cook Pag-Pag for us, and we will sample this inexpensive yet tasty meal. However, before that, I want to explore the neighborhood a bit and show you some interesting places. It's still early for Pag-Pag, so we have time to look around. As soon as you enter a shanty town in the Philippines, something immediately catches your attention. You always see a lot of children in these neighborhoods. There are 120 million people living in the Philippines, and the population is quite young. Almost all of the children are thin and underweight. They probably don't eat a healthy diet. Most of these children don't go to school and don't receive a good education. Their families send them to wealthy neighborhoods in Manila, where they are forced to beg. The slum houses in these neighborhoods are usually 1 or 2 stories high. Most of these houses do not have windows. Since they don't have the money for proper roofs, they cover the ceilings with metal sheets. The shacks resemble a labyrinth. Once you enter an alley, it is quite likely that you will lose your way because the neighborhood resembles a labyrinth. Almost all of the shacks are built close together, and there are many alleys. The clear distinction between Manila's shantytowns and high-rise buildings is easily seen from above. The wealthy live in skyscrapers just ahead. The poor live in these shantytowns, which are full of garbage and lack basic infrastructure. The wealthy rarely visit these poor neighborhoods and consider them dangerous. It would not be wrong to say that 2 different lives exist in one city. As we walk around the neighborhood, we see leftover food from yesterday being bagged and sold at stalls. Some neighborhood street food shops cook and sell the leftovers themselves, while others bag them and sell them cold, just like these vendors. As we walk through the side streets, we notice that people use portable lamps for lighting in the shantytowns. Many shanties have no electricity and can only illuminate their homes to a limited extent. The rooms inside the houses are very small. In shanties, one room serves multiple purposes. For instance, one room may be used for cooking and sleeping. This man, who lives alone, opened the doors of his home to us. He says he sleeps on this old sofa every night. His daughter and wife have left him. This room serves as both his kitchen and bedroom. The place where he sleeps does not look comfortable at all. He says he pays 2,000 pesos, which is $35, in rent for this room. The weather in Manila is humid and above 30 degrees Celsius year-round, so people in shantytowns often sleep half-naked. Both women and men wear short shorts in their daily lives. The residents of this neighborhood prefer to shop at local kiosks rather than supermarkets. This is because it is more economical. Looking up at the neighborhood, you will see that the electrical and telecommunications wiring is extremely complex and poorly designed. These electrical and telecommunications cables were probably installed illegally. I doubt the government would want to give the city such a bad image. You can see these complex wiring systems in many South Asian countries. You will also frequently come across trash while walking in the side streets. It seems that the Manila municipality is not cleaning these neighborhoods enough. Perhaps there are no residence permits in these shantytowns. For this reason, the municipality may not allocate a budget for cleaning and infrastructure here. People dry their laundry on ropes stretched between shanties. To reach the upper floors, they have built wooden ladders. Since there is no proper sewage system, sewage from toilets flows across the ground instead of flowing underground. This causes some streets in the neighborhood to smell strongly of sewage. The good news is that despite their poor economy, people are smiling. Filipinos are generally warm and optimistic. All that is needed is an improvement in living conditions. Even the neighborhood dogs look unhealthy and exhausted. After observing the surroundings for a while, we can move on to producing Pag-Pag. This elderly woman and her husband make and sell Pagpag in the neighborhood. The day before, they collect leftover food from the trash and put it in bags. The next day, they cook the food again with sauces and oil and sell it to people in the neighborhood. First, they empty the leftover food from the bags into a container and wash it with their hands. It's important that the water they use to wash the bags is hot. They wash the chicken in hot water to kill germs. Since the chicken comes from trash-filled bags, there may be plastic or metal pieces on it. For this reason, they think it is best to rinse them at least twice. They thoroughly rinse the chicken in water until it is completely clean. After a while, the color of the water changes from white to gray. Then, they empty the dirty water from the pot. It's clear that someone has bitten the chicken pieces before. This is, of course, very strange. The washed chicken is placed in a large pot. The pot contains a mixture of liquid oil, soy sauce, Sprite, and monosodium glutamate. They claim that this mixture gives the chicken the perfect flavor. Monosodium glutamate, known as MSG, is known for its appetite-stimulating properties and is commonly referred to as Chinese salt. It is used in hamburgers and fries by chain restaurants. After about half an hour of stirring, the meal is ready. The elderly woman who prepared the meal takes the chicken out of the pot and serves it to customers in a serving dish, along with the broth. Some customers prefer fried chicken rather than chicken in broth. It's just like fast food restaurants. For this reason, the elderly woman cooked and fried some of the chicken separately in a metal pot. She sells the fried chicken in plastic bags according to the requested amount. That's Pag-Pag in a nutshell, my friends. Soon, children and adults alike will come to buy food from the elderly woman. Initially, the woman who prepares and sells this dish mentioned that she used to sell Filipino dishes like adobo. However, she said that over time, her customers could no longer afford more authentic meals. She explained that she started making Pag-Pag to continue cooking for and serving her customers. These dishes have now become part of Manila's culture.
This is the only thing people living in Aroma can afford to buy. The price is a bit lower because cooked meals are very expensive. At first, they feel as if they've eaten at expensive fast food restaurants. It's healthy to eat because it's already been cleaned. We wash it with hot water before cooking. I rinse it with hot water so that it's safe for the people who eat it. Actually, this is my meal right now as well. Selling Pag-Pag provides a significant contribution to me because I pay for things like electricity and water bills and sometimes things like rice with the money I earn from this. This is the most important thing that helps us afford such things. Collecting Pag-Pag is also difficult because sometimes you have to start waiting there as early as 12 o'clock just to get some. Sometimes when you arrive, there's nothing left.
Oh, ito. Ito ang Pag-Pag. Masarap to. Ah. Bumili ako ng Pag-Pag kasi masarap. Talagang sarap ang luto ni nanay.
Ang nagustuhan ko po sa Pag-Pag ay malinis po at saka nakakabusog. Ang nagustuhan ko po sa Pag-Pag ay malinis po at saka nakakabusog po. Palagi po akong bumibili rito ng Pag-Pag para iulam po ng aking pamilya.
Gusto mo na kayo tumawa? Ikaw na, Tin. Sige na, para mabilis na sila. Gusto mo na uuwi na sila po. Masarap po ang Pag-Pag.
For instance, a family of 5 can enjoy dinner at this establishment for only 50 Philippine pesos, which is approximately $1. 50 pesos is approximately $1. This is a truly affordable price. Around 15 million people live in Manila, and they need to feed themselves every day to survive. Since nearly half of the city's population lives below the poverty line, people turn to affordable foods like Pag-Pag. Buffet owners also start preparing these dishes to increase sales. Despite everything, the smiles on the faces of the people in the neighborhood never fade. I think this is the most important thing for holding on to life. We, on the other hand, have lessons to learn from them. When we see people eating Pag-Pag, we should recognize the abundance and prosperity in our own lives. The good lives we have are a tremendous privilege, making us luckier than millions of people in this world. According to United Nations data, over 820 million people worldwide are struggling with chronic hunger. The statistics in the Philippines are even more disheartening. 30% of children under the age of 5 in the Philippines are malnourished. These children urgently need food supplements. People in the Tondo district of Manila cannot afford to buy warm, fresh meals for their families. However, the smiling, warm-hearted people in our video reminded me that happiness can flourish even in the bleakest circumstances. This is Manila, Philippines. It is a pure paradise where people can find happiness in the simplest daily tasks. In this paradise, a universal truth lies. Happiness is not defined by the houses people live in, the food they eat, or the expensive clothes they wear. You cannot equate happiness directly with rich people who have a lot of money. Happiness is not as simple as the model of a car a person owns. True happiness comes from the souls of people who find the strength to smile despite the most challenging life conditions.